As we saw in our first episode on forgiveness, there are many reasons why we should forgive people who wrong us. The trouble is, it's often easier said than done. We don't always have the tools to forgive. Emotions can't always be turned on and off like a switch.
I don't think you can really forgive someone when you feel still so angry at them.
I have been hurt to the point where I hold on to it and I cannot forgive.
We all experience hurt. Life is difficult, and there are going to be difficult moments. We can't trivialize them, and we can't pretend that they're going to go away, but you can control them. What we prime our mind with does make a difference. If you're in a situation where you could explode, you could react, starting out the day with the right kind of mindset primes you in such a way that you have a greater resilience and a greater resistance to overreaction.
Think there's no manual for this? No roadmap? Think again. We have a handbook, and this handbook has been with us for 3,000 years. Forgiveness is central to the Judaic tradition. Not only did God give Moses the 10 Commandments, but he gave him the 13 attributes of forgiveness and said if we ask for forgiveness, we'll receive it. So why wouldn't it be the same with each other? If we look at the 13 attributes, most translate easily into our modern lives, though some are too Kabbalistic for brief discussion. The first attribute is one of pre-forgiveness. Anticipate that people will make mistakes. Humans err. That presidents can feign at dinner parties and misspell words. Even in business, there is an expectation of future mistakes. Making errors and omissions policies, a $30 billion a year industry. Don't have unreasonable expectations. That's a healthy bedrock for long relationships. So add some seatbelts in your relationship. Install some airbags so that when things happen, you won't be hurt. The next attribute of forgiveness is believing your own self-worth. Mohandas Gandhi once said, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong." When people say hurtful things, you can only be hurt if you allow them to hurt you.
Self-worth does make it easier to forgive. People who feel diminished will have a more difficult time showing the resiliency that is involved in forgiveness, because remember, forgiveness is an act of resiliency.
It's important to remember that we are the prime beneficiaries of forgiveness. We're the ones who are better off because of it. We can move on with our lives. One person who stands out in this capacity is Nelson Mandela. After being imprisoned for 30 years, much of it in solitary confinement, Mandela became president. Rather than pursue a policy of vengeance against his captors, he forgave them. This allowed him to move his country forward as an integrated nation. South Africa now has a flourishing and vibrant economy, the most successful on the entire continent. This is the positive outcome of forgiveness. Would that have been possible if his attitude had been an eye for an eye? Probably not. An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. Join us in our next episode for the remaining attributes that will guide you on the path to forgiveness and a healthier, happier you.